Progress.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hope you're all having a wonderful lunchtime if you're in the Netherlands. Kareem from Expat Republic. Just checking in to see if our speakers are there. Sezer and Egle.
I
Hello,
am.
everyone. Perfect. Lovely to
Hey,
see everyone. Hey, hey. So, thank you so much for joining, everyone. I know it's a lovely lunchtime. The weather is not in our favor. That's okay. It's still beautiful, everything great. Um, to introduce myself, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kareem, and I'm from Expat Republic, and we are a media company based in the Netherlands. And what we do is we help internationals from all around the world who come to this beautiful country to learn, connect. We run webinars, articles, blogs, meetup events, drinks, networking. We do the whole shebang just to make your life easier, better, more, and hopefully more fun in the Netherlands. One of the things that we see a lot is, maybe some people move here as entrepreneurs, or they go into corporate and they say, not for me. I want to do my own thing. Tired of the boss every day, whatever. Don't like the job. They want to do their own thing, so they jump into entrepreneurship. Then they say, I've been renting for a while and I want to buy a place. What do I do? And so there's a lot of information out there, and some of it is okay, some of it is not so okay. But we have very, very special and incredible guests, Sezer and Egle from Mr. Mortgage Company, Mr. Mortgage Team. These guys are just an incredible mortgage broker. They help with all kinds of mortgages for internationals. They offer amazing service in English. They have amazing reviews, and they've helped, I don't even know how many hundred or thousands of expats to secure a mortgage. Even more, yeah, I didn't want to overdo it, Sezer. I don't want to get you in trouble. But yeah, I know they've done tons of thousands for sure of mortgages for expats of all types, from buy to let to first home buyers to home buyers, remortgaging, refinancing, the works, and they have contacts with tons of lenders. So they're here today to talk to us about, how do I go about this maze of buying a house, whether it's my first one or second one or whatever, about buying a house as a freelancer or entrepreneur. Because as you know, the mortgages are really about income, and sometimes as an entrepreneur, that can be all over the place, which is totally normal, by the way. Every entrepreneur goes through that, so don't feel bad. That's part of the game. Just be proud of the fact that you stepped into the world of entrepreneurship, and that you're going with it with your heart full-fledged. I will hand it over to our amazing speakers who are sharing their incredible knowledge. Thank you so much for being here. Just a quick house rule: you got questions, fire them in the chat. I will ask them to our amazing speakers towards the end. So yeah, don't worry. We won't forget about your questions. We'll try to get to all of them. Without further ado, I hand it over to our amazing speakers. Thank you so much for being here, the both of you on your lunch break.
thank you, Kareem. Thank you for having us. Always fun. And thank you for the lovely introduction. My name is Sezer Yilmaz. I'm the founder of Mr. Mortgage. Started in 2017, and indeed, we have assisted. I would need to check it, but over 1,000 expats with all of their mortgages. Today with me is also my lovely colleague Egle. Today we're going to talk about how to navigate the maze of mortgages for freelancers or entrepreneurs. We will dive into the details later. What's good to know after the presentation, there's plenty of time to ask your questions. So yeah, let's start. Just to quickly recap, today we have 2 out of 5 colleagues with us. We've been doing this with a lot of fun and a lot of passion. So yeah. What do we do, Mr. Mortgage? We're a mortgage brokerage firm specialized in dealing with mortgage applications for expats. We've been doing that since 2017. One of the things we do well is we provide all the information in English. just to give you a few examples, all the calculations, all the reports, advising you on the mortgage, obviously, but also on specific scenarios such as what happens if you pass away, those types of details. We do work with around 30 mortgage lenders, so there's also a lot to choose from. With a few of the banks, we have a let's say a special position. We're a priority partner, so our cases get picked up a bit faster than others. Also good to tell you, we don't have any hidden fees. You'll know exactly from the start what you're going to pay, and that takes away a lot of the stress and adds a lot of the fun. What we do, we offer several types of mortgages, from first-time home buyers, moving homes, so the regular type mortgages, to new builds, buy-to-let, refinance, increase, and also maybe less fun, divorce. What happens if you get a divorce? Before we start, we have a small poll to get to know you a bit better.
Let me get that poll for you out.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's the where would you like to buy, I think, or the entrepreneur one. Which one did you want, Sezer?
Where did you where are you looking to buy home? And then
Can you
after
guys
that,
see
we'll
it?
start
It's up. Oh, they're filling it in fast. Awesome.
And Kareem, could you add the other one as well after we finished?
Yeah, right away after? Yeah, no
yeah,
problem.
please.
Okay, I didn't realize you wanted in this. I wasn't sure if you're gonna do it now. Yeah, perfect.
No worries, no worries, no worries.
Woo! They're filling it in. 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Get your chance. Okay. All right, I end the poll. I think everyone's filled it in. Woo! Let's do that. And I'm going to share the results. Can you see them?
Yes, very nice. Yeah, most of them Amsterdam, Haarlem, Utrecht. Very nice, very
No
nice.
love for Delft.
No, we do love
Who
Delft.
filled in the other? Sorry, I cut you off. Any other? Who wrote other? What did you where were you guys thinking? Anyways. Cool. So I'll stop sharing that and I'll fire away the other one.
Yeah. We would like to know what type of yep.
This one is very interesting.
Patrick is saying, I was thinking Weesp, but just remembered that it is in the Amsterdam area.
Oh, I like the Antwerp answer. Very nice. Eindhoven.
Oh,
Cool.
wow. Yeah.
I don't know. Can you help people in Belgium, Sezer, for Belgian mortgages
Not yet.
or tough?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Maybe,
Oh, not yet. Oh, something on the horizon. Woo! Cool.
Maybe no, Belgium not yet, but we are exploring other territories at the moment.
Nice.
And that's all I want to say right now.
Okay. Cool. So we've got second poll, 10 seconds. Yes, new opportunities indeed. Okay, I'm going to end that one. Oh, yeah. End poll, share results. Looks like we have a lot of seasoned entrepreneurs here.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Very good. I always tell people that have just started, congrats and welcome to the other side. It's a fun side, but yeah, no, very good, very good. All right, thank you for filling out the poll, everybody. Yeah, what you can expect today, we'll give a short overview of the Dutch housing market. We'll give a few reasons to buy a home instead of renting, and then we'll talk about requirements, because that will, yeah, be let's say the biggest chunk of what we'll discuss today, to help you prepare in advance, so that when you've bought a home, things become easier. And as mentioned earlier, at the end there's a Q&A session. And please don't hold back during the Q&A session. The Dutch housing market. What you've probably already noticed, I don't know how many of you are looking on Funda every day, becoming Fundaholics. Every time a new notification pops up, you want to see it. I don't know if there are any, let's say, groups that you can join and share what you're going through on Funda. Simply to tell you what is going on. This graph is explaining the shortage that we currently have. It's the amount of properties that have been sold per quarter, and yeah, you can see that most of the quarters, yeah, the amount of properties on the market being sold are getting less and less, which means bigger competition, simply because there's less available on the market and prices going up. Looking at what is happening with interest rates, and we're also going to debunk a few myths later. As an entrepreneur, you don't have to worry about getting a different type of interest rate compared to somebody who's an employee. So that is not one of the worries you should have, because you'll simply get the exactly the same interest rate. Looking at what happened since 2015, interest rates have been gradually decreasing up until 2022. In 2022, yeah, inflation went up because of the situation in Ukraine. Gas prices went up, and to take away any risks that banks can have, the central bank increased their rates, and in that also mortgage rates have been going up. What we see since let's say half a year, we see interest rates are dropping. Looking at what's happening with the European Central Bank or the Fed in the US, we expect that rates will drop even more. You could consider that as good news, which it is, because lower rates mean that you can invest in a cheaper way, or buy a home, so borrow money in a cheaper way. The downside of it is when mortgage rates are dropping, usually home prices go up, and that is also what we see happening. So it depends a bit on your approach and your let's say view, if it's good or bad news that the interest rates are dropping. We do like it. Reasons to buy a home in the Netherlands. Yeah, obviously, one of the biggest reasons, and which also makes it easier compared to other countries, is that you can borrow up to 100% of the market value of the property, which means that you just have to pay for the closing fees, and that's it. Some of the closing fees are also tax deductible, So you'll get back around 37%. You can choose interest rates from variable up to 30 years fixed, and anything in between. Most popular ones at the moment are 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And that is also because the shorter term rates, such as 3 years and 5 years, are popular simply because people are expecting that rates are going to drop, so they want to make use of the dropping rates. Another big benefit of buying a home over here is the mortgage interest deduction. So the interest that you pay on your mortgage, you'll get back a certain amount, which in reality is somewhere between 25 and 30%. I already mentioned the tax deductible closing fees. There's no capital gains tax when you're selling your home, which is also different than from other countries. Looking at renting versus buying, buying is usually a smart solution for the long term. Renting gives you flexibility, so the short term. You're building equity when you buy a home, and you have a better affordability in comparison to renting, because we see that rental prices are going up. The shortage in housing that we have over here is even hitting the rental market a bit harder than the buying market. So that will increase the affordability of your home expenses. We already started the presentation with freelancer versus entrepreneur, just to give you an idea of what we mean, and you will hear different types of terms. How we approach it is we look at the way your company does taxes. So if you're self-employed, a freelancer, or a ZZP'er in Dutch, in those scenarios, you will perform the tax through the personal income tax, versus having a BV, for example, where the tax is being performed through the corporate tax as well, in combination with combined with the personal income tax. I'll explain that even a bit more later. A few misconceptions. You don't need a track record of 3 years, which most people seem to believe. There are some banks, 2 out of 30, that want you to have a track record of at least 3 years. But besides those 2, you could already get a mortgage from apply for a mortgage after 1 year. You don't need to have a very high income. You won't get higher interest rates. You can buy a home. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this webinar. And it is very hard or complicated to get a mortgage approved. That's also not the case. The only thing that is very different, when you're employed, your salary is, let's say, pretty straightforward. But if you're an entrepreneur, your income fluctuates, and that's why the outcome is a bit more complicated, but nothing too scary, as long as you prepare everything and prepare your case in advance. And I will tell you later how to do that. So looking at the requirements, how a bank is going to approach the case. Obviously, they are going to look at your income, so they want to determine your income. They're going to look at the documents that you share. so that we can we show the evidence that your income is what we say it is. They're also going to look at financial predictability. What we mean by that is if you have, let's say, if the result of your business is, let's say, 90K profit, 95K profit, 100K profit. So this is for 3 years. Then the predictability of what should happen the year after should be somewhere between 90 and 100K. If your income goes from 150 plus to minus 30 and again 100 plus, the predictability is a bit more difficult. And in those types of scenarios, we need to prepare the case in advance. We need to explain why things are happening the way they have. Banks are also going to look at business profitability. Obviously, they want you to have a positive result. They're going to look at some key ratios such as liquidity and solvency. And they're also going to look at financial obligations. This is specifically, or I'll give an example for the director shareholders that are listening. If you have an RC credit, so you're borrowing money from your own company, depending on how much you borrow, depending on the terms and conditions, the bank will have an opinion on that, and that could negatively impact what you can borrow from them. And another big requirement is the forecast for the future, which is never set in stone, obviously, but based on your track record, we could prove, let's say, what your income could be. As already mentioned during the let's say misconceptions. You don't need 3 years. If you have a track record of at least 12 months, then we can already work with that. We are going to ask for specific documents from your bookkeeper, but nothing too scary. What some of you do, I don't know at this moment how many of you have that situation. Let's say you've been working, or what we see a lot is software developers working for company X. They are good at what they do, and they figure out, if I keep doing this as a freelancer, I will earn twice as much as I would being an employee. In those types of scenarios, it could be beneficial to also look at the past, so that we could use the income that you had as an employee and add that to the average income you have as a freelancer, which makes the outcome better than if you just have the 1 year. Because if you have the 1 year, banks will deduct a certain percentage depending on the bank. I'll give you an example. Let's say you made 100K as a freelancer in your first year. Some banks will only take 75% of that. Some banks will only take 80% of that. However, if you've been doing that for 3 years at least, having that same income, the outcome will simply improve. All right. Just to give you an example, this is an example with somebody who has been working for 3 years. The example is Marta, a freelancer in the tech sector. Looking at annual income, she started in, let's say, the 1st of January 2021. Her income is 80K. Second year 104, year after 135. So she's showing growth 30% annually. We could ask the bank in this case, if the 4th year, so 2024, we're already in October, If we receive a nice forecast from your accountant, we could already ask the bank, okay, let's skip 2021. Let's take the average of 2022, 2023, and 2024 to increase the amount you can borrow. So these are ways for us to, let's say, play around with the outcome of the maximum mortgage. You need to have a solid case, though. If your income goes, if the fluctuation is too big, then it's difficult to convince the bank. But if it's consistent, then we are able to convince the bank and sell your case. Looking at documents as a ZZP'er. And obviously, we're going to guide you through this. If your bookkeeper needs any confirmation from us, we will always assist you. What is needed? Annual report showing a balance sheet, a profit and loss statement, and also a small explanation of what the business is doing, and if there are any sort of let's say things out of the ordinary within the report. It could be that we need to get in touch with your accountant to ask for more information to confirm what happened. Personal income tax returns and the year-to-date results of the current year. Also, the business forecast for the rest of the current year. And the bank will always ask for a Chamber of Commerce registration to see what's going on. If you are a direct shareholder, it's a little bit different. The bank's also going to ask for the corporate tax returns to confirm what is happening in the annual reports. They're going to ask for a payslip because you've employed yourself. They want to see your salary. They also want to see an organization structure. So are you the sole shareholder, or are there multiple shareholders? And they would also like to see the shareholders agreement. What a common situation is, or is that most people use the working company and the holding on top of that. And what's nice to know is that the profit that you have, so the bank is going to look at the salary that you have, and on top of that, they're going to look at the profit that you've made. This doesn't have to be paid out to you, because sometimes it makes sense to keep the profit in the company because you want to reinvest that money and make the company grow. But we could use that to show the bank your credibility. Example of Dan, BB salary is a 70K. On top of that, we could add the profit against a certain percentage to make sure that the 70K becomes more. Banks are already going to consider the dividend tax and such. As I mentioned, a few extra documents that are required if you're a direct shareholder. What I want to tell you, and I hope you will listen very closely. Preparation as an entrepreneur is key. So make sure your books are in order. Make sure that your bookkeeper or accountant can whip out any information within, let's say, a week. Especially the forecast and the year-to-date numbers, because without we won't be able to give the bank a lot of security about what is happening this year, And how banks always look at a mortgage case is what is the income stability? In other words, do we expect that our new client, is able to pay the mortgage for 30 years, even though on average you won't live in the property you're buying for 30 years. But as soon as you want to start this process, make sure that the numbers are in order, at least up until the last quarter, and also that everything that happens after your bookkeeper account can immediately whip out the numbers and the reports and the confirmations. If you've just started freelancing, that wasn't the biggest chunk when we look at the answers given in the poll. If you've just started, good to know. Every bank has their unique requirements. I'll give you an example. So with some banks, they will look at your employment history as well, because they want to know, and this always feels a bit weird to mention, but they want to know what you're worth in the economy. So if I'll give you an example, if you're making 60K every year as an employee, and suddenly during the first year you're expected to make let's say 150, then we need to explain the bank how that is happening. And it could be that if they don't feel secure enough, they will use the employment history as well, or the income that you had as an employee, to determine how much you can borrow. But we will guide you through that, so you don't have to worry about that. And this is already telling you a bit about how we work. You can contact us. We will explain how things work. You can upload your documents in a secure portal. Once you do that, we can start calculating for you. And we can already guide you through what is needed, what is expected, so you can start preparing that as well. So once you found your home, all of the stress will be gone, because the outcome is going to be very clear. We negotiate with lenders on your behalf, and as always, the final decision rests with the lender. However, we do have good relations, so we can get done a lot. Looking at timelines, and also just to show you the differences. If you're employed, obviously you need a BSN number, but besides that, you need to have a contract of employment. And that's it. So you're going to show a salary slip and a statement from your employer. If you're looking at what is needed when you're self-employed, banks are going to look at the fiscal results. So what is written in the personal income tax return of the last 3 years. And then again, minimum is 1 year. Entrepreneurs, as mentioned, salary and average profit of 3 years. Home buying timeline. So today it's the 2nd of October. What I would do, if you want to start the process in October, contact your accountant. First contact us, so you know what to ask for. Then contact your accountant, so we can determine the eligibility. And after you've done that, you can look for your home, which will be challenging but not impossible. Once you've found your home, sign a purchase agreement. You'll have a cooling off period. In November, you'll have a few more documents to collect. If you've already prepared everything in October, we will discuss mortgage options, and after you give us a green light on our proposal, we'll make sure that the mortgage gets approved. And then in December or January, whenever that moment is, you could be at the notary celebrating the fact that you've signed the deeds and also you've received the keys. Next steps, preparing for the process, as mentioned, contact us so you know what to collect. If you're not working with an accountant yet, we can refer you to someone. You're not obliged to work with an accountant. However, that will make life so much easier on all ends and take away a lot of the stress. Don't take out any financial obligations. And yeah, book a call with either one of our colleagues or with me for a personal discussion, so you know what to expect. Before we finish, our fees. These are the fees for first-time home buyers. That's 2,000. I see a question popping up from Natalia. Please, can you recommend an accountant? I will inform you about that in a bit. Yeah, so if you're self-employed, so as a ZZP'er, our fee is a standard fee of 2,999. And for the analysis of your numbers and setting up your case, we charge another 300 euros. If you are a direct shareholder, price is a little different. Analysis is a bit more complicated, but also gives possibilities. 2,999 plus 500 euros. You'll get all the calculations, and we'll make sure that the mortgage application moves forward in a smooth way. It's almost time for the Q&A. I already saw a few questions popping up. If you want to schedule a call with us, you can visit our website. That's the easiest way. You can also give us a call or email us. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to do so. You can send me a message over there, and I'll be answering your questions. Egle, take it away.
Hi, hello everyone. So we have a few questions. Maybe I'm gonna start from the first one. If someone wants to get a second house, maybe it's not related a little bit to the freelancers, but is it how to get a second mortgage for the flat a little bit closer to the
that's okay. Yeah. I see what's that's the question from and I hope I pronounced that in the right way. Olusegun. Saying, I hope it's not a selfish question. I was able to buy a house far away from work, about 180 kilometers, which is a lot. So how you're wondering how easy it is to buy a second home, a small apartment close to where you work. Yeah, there are options. It all depends on. This is already a very specific question, but it's easy to answer. The banks are going to look at your income. They're going to look at what you're spending on your current home, and if there's any space left, you could use that for buying a second home. We can, if you contact us, then we can determine that for you. And there will be a small down payment needed because you can't borrow in this specific scenario. You cannot borrow 100% anymore, but there are options. So we can tell you all about that.
Thank you. Natalia is asking, what happens if we want to apply for a mortgage between two of them? One is a freelancer and another is an employee. Is it true that mortgages in the Netherlands are always for 35 years?
The second question, 35 years, that's not the case. It's 30 years is the maximum duration. You can choose a shorter duration if you want to, but usually that doesn't make a lot of sense. If one of you is employed and the other is a freelancer, banks actually like that scenario because that gives them some sort of extra security. Because where your income as an entrepreneur is or freelancer is could fluctuate. With an employee, it's not fluctuating. So yeah, no, banks actually like that situation, like that scenario. Yeah, that will help selling your case easier.
Tuna is asking, what is the age limit to obtain a 30 years mortgage as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So the only reason why a bank could put a limit to the duration is if you're over 57. Because that is linked to the retirement age or the state pension that we have over here. So if you're older than 57, then it could be that the duration is limited, but besides that, there's no limit to the duration.
Okay. Someone is asking, is it a bare minimum as a freelancer must earn to get a mortgage?
Samuel is asking that question. Is there a bare minimum as a freelancer? A freelancer must earn per year to receive mortgage. No. Once we determine the income, the calculation works the same way as when you would have been employed. So there's no difference. So I'll give an example. If your income as an entrepreneur or freelancer is determined at 60K per year, the outcome is not different than when you would have been employed and earn 60K per year. So there's no minimum. It only impacts how much you can borrow.
Steve is asking, is our fee flat for per mortgage, and is it the same for married couple buying a house?
Yeah, so yeah, we have a flat fee. So if you buy a property under $1 million, then we have a flat fee. Also above $1 million, but then our price changes a bit because yeah, the above $1 million, you're talking about jumbo mortgages, and that requires additional info and therefore also additional work from our side. Also, the way the bank will approach it is also different. You'll go through risk committees, and that process takes a bit longer. Yeah.
Okay. D is asking if that's possible to buy a house if you work on live for another country or work for a web-free company.
Yeah, all right. That depends on. All right. D, could you maybe look into or could you answer how you structured your income, because that will have an impact on my answer. So maybe we could, or you could simply schedule a call with us so we can talk about that in a private setting.
So I'm trying just to finalize some more questions, but I see more popping up in the sense
Yeah.
that so if someone has a company in Germany and get an income from outside of the Netherlands, will that be a problem for mortgage? So if someone
I never talk about problems. In this case, it depends a bit on how you've structured your company. There are options, but it's having a company outside of the Netherlands always complicates the situation. But we can look into that.
I have a few questions also in the Q&A. Do I need to provide a forecast from an accountant or bookkeeper, as I come from a financial background, or and I can do my own bookkeeping? So,
Okay.
mhm.
In that case, we can, for example, set up your case, also send them the sales tax returns, so that the bank has a bit more security in what is happening. What's good to tell you, depending on when you apply for a mortgage, and I'll give you an example. If you're applying for a mortgage in January, banks do not ask questions about what's happening in 2025. However, fast forward to May 2025, they will oblige you to also inform them about what is happening in 2025. They will look into 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and they want to know 2025. So depending on when you apply and when you want to apply, there could be additional information required, and therefore the preparation is therefore so important. I cannot stress that enough.
Are there any requirements for someone in full-time employment with an existing mortgage that wants to switch to ZZP?
I hope I understand the question. If you have an existing mortgage that stays the way it is, and you want to start freelancing, you don't have to worry about a thing, because the bank is not going to ask you questions about that. However, if you want to buy a new home, increase the mortgage, or change something within the mortgage terms and conditions, then it could have an impact. So I hope that answers the question.
So what will happen if during the mortgage period there is a trouble with the business, such as, for example, pandemic?
Yeah, that was a fun time. Obviously, that has happened over the last few years. Depending on the sector you're working in, I'm going to give you an example, and this is a very I need to look at the right sector. Yeah, all right. Let's say you had a barber shop. During the pandemic, you could not receive clients simply because of what was happening outside. However, as soon as we could go outside again, and we could visit the barber again and not look like cavemen or cave women anymore. From that moment on, you had a situation where, obviously you can generate income as a barber. So what you would see in the numbers is, if you had stable income during the lockdowns, no income, and after the lockdowns, it went up again. In these specific scenarios, we could let's say, take out the numbers that are negatively impacting the outcome of the mortgage, and we could move forward with the average of the years where it wasn't as scary outside.
Okay, thank you. So I think the last few questions left. If I sell a property in another country, in EU, Sweden, can I add this when making the case towards the bank?
Yeah, always. That's when we sell your case, we obviously will look into those types of details as well. The more security the bank has, the better it is for the outcome, because that could take away, let's say, a negative point or a, let's say, orange flag from the business income and may turn that into a green flag.
Thank you. There is one question in the Q&A section, which is a little bit longer with a personal story.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just have a look and shortly
Yeah, just give me a second.
summarize, because it's just, I think, technical thing about
Okay.
translations.
I will, this is from not anonymous attendee, but it's from Hyphen. Is it
yeah.
that one?
Yeah, the last one, as a software
So,
developer.
Mr. or Miss Hyphen, I work as a software developer and I moved to the Netherlands a year ago. In the past, I was working on behalf of my company located in another EU country. Okay. Since I'm in NL, I work with the same customers, but on behalf of my Dutch eenmanszaak. Okay. Does the whole balance sheet needs to be translated, or is a letter? Okay. If this is a question about translating documents, we can work with whatever you have. Sorry, this was not the best question to answer. This is a very specific question, Mr. or Miss Hyphen. Maybe schedule a call with us so we can assist you. Yeah.
And I think this is it. We answered all of them, all of the questions. And of course, for personal situation, you can always schedule a free call. And you will receive email with us with some additional information, and also webinar recording and some resources about how to buy a home as an entrepreneur or as a freelancer.
All right.
Right.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mortgage team, for taking the time out of your lunch to give us some really awesome tips and answer the really interesting questions. I must say, very in-depth and detailed. Really shows your knowledge. So thank you so much. And thank you all for being here, our wonderful guests, for listening in. And good luck with your great businesses, and keep going down the entrepreneur route. There is the path to real estate wealth for you, for sure, not just people that are employed. So yeah, of course, do get in touch with Mr. Mortgage if you have questions about the topic and what to do. And we'll definitely be sending out the recording to everyone.
We have one more last question. Are there any
Oh, yes, go ahead. No, of course.
reliable mortgage calculators? Sezer, this is a moment for you to.
No, I'll give you an example. You could fill it out. It is an easy way to see what could be possible. But in the end, if you have a certain if there's something going on in your numbers, then that could negatively or positively impact the outcome. Yeah, so the calculator is a bit, I wouldn't trust too much on it, but it does give you an impression. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that answered the question, Patrick. Feel free to contact us after trying the several mortgage calculators. Feel free to contact us so we can give you the right estimate and the right numbers.
Good. We got one more question. What is the fee when the mortgage is above 1 million? Might as well.
All right.
Might as
Yeah,
well answer it,
exactly.
Sezer.
The fee in that scenario goes up by 800 euros. So the
Okay, perfect.
2,999 becomes 3,800 to keep it a bit
Yeah,
more simple.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Tax deductible 37%. Keep in mind.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, money. Love it.
Free money.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it. I wish you all
Yep.
a wonderful afternoon and hopefully some lunch. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Mortgage Team. And we'll see you all in the next webinar.
Thank you again for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.